Good morning, everybody. Well, we're starting Module 4 this week, and this is a little bit different than some of our other modules have been and will be, because it's asking you to do a couple of things that you haven't done before and that you really won't be doing again in this course. The first one is to participate in a discussion board that really is kind of an artificial little game. It's very artificial. It asks you to play that old childhood game of rock, paper, scissors, but to draw things from a hat. You can either do that really or just pick two people from a list of participants in court proceedings. Judges, attorneys, clerks, bailiffs, etc. Juxtapose the two against each other and write about what you think an outcome would be if they were in a sort of, well, for want of a better word, a power struggle with each other. Which one of the two you choose, not of all of the people on the list, but just of the two you choose, would have the more influential position in court or the more power, although that's even more artificial than the game itself, because their roles are actually very, very different. This week is all about exploring the roles of all of the people who are involved in a court proceeding, especially in a criminal proceeding, but also in civil ones. They're like the cast of characters in a movie or in a play. Every court proceeding has certain participants that are always there, and some who rotate in and out depending on the kind of trial it is. There will always be a judge or someone in the role of judge, maybe called a magistrate or a mediator, various things. But we're going to call, for simplicity's sake, a judge. So there will always be a judge. There almost always will be lawyers. There will always be parties. If it's a criminal proceeding, the party opposing the defendant is not really there. It's all of the people of that state or all the people of the country if it's a federal criminal proceeding. Obviously, they're not really there. They are being represented by the prosecutor, who is one of the attorneys. There will always be a clerk, maybe more than one, in various roles, sometimes just to take notes, sometimes to manage the exhibits for the judge. The clerks play various roles during a trial, depending really on what the judge needs them to do. There usually will be, if it's a court of record, there will be a court reporter. In almost all courtrooms, all that I've ever seen, there will be a bailiff or other person who is there to maintain physical order in the courtroom at the judge's request. And that often comes down in modern day courtrooms to someone who is armed and standing guard in case something happens. 50 years ago, that would have been almost unheard of. Right now, it's all too heard of. So often those bailiffs and other safety personnel are called upon to do their jobs, which is sad, but true, and they do a very important job and very dangerous one. The second thing you're going to do this week, and you're already in the midst of doing it, I imagine, is to interview whatever chosen court personnel you have. I'm really looking forward to reading those interviews. They're always interesting. I learn something about the people you've talked to, and more important than that, you will learn something. You will really learn from the people who are involved in a courtroom on a day-to-day basis, because I imagine that most of you haven't had that daily experience of a courtroom. It's not at all like you see it in the movies and on television. It's more important for one thing, but it's also way more boring. So talk to those people, learn from them, get an idea, a flavor of what it would be like in the courtroom, because many of you will spend a good bit of your time in a courtroom from when you get out of SNHU and when you get into your chosen careers. As you've been telling me in your discussion posts from this week, in which you imagine yourself in a specialty court of one kind or another. Those have been very well done and very interesting to read, by the way. I think that's about all I need to say for this coming week. It's less academic than most of our modules are, and more interactive, let me say, and also more imaginative, maybe a little more playful. I hope you enjoy the rock, paper, scissors exercise. It's not really, don't take it too seriously in terms of thinking that these people that you are comparing really are opposing each other. Usually they're not, and they're certainly not in a power struggle. They all actually work together. The idea of the game is simply to let you think about the roles that they play and the effects that those roles may have on the public and on the participants in the courtroom. So best of luck, especially in your interviews. Be sure to give your interview subjects my thanks remotely, although that will mean nothing to them, of course. But I know that you will have thanked them yourselves, and I know also that you're really going to learn something. I look forward to it. I will talk with you later. Bye.